RTVC, let's now have Presidential Spokesperson and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo.
Good noon. MPC.
Questions? Rose Novinario. Microphone.
Rose. Rose Tattoo.
Hi sir, good afternoon. Sir, ano pong reaction ng palasyo dun sa statement ng Amnesty International na nanawagan sa United Nations na imbestigahan yung patuloy na extrajudicial executions po dahil sa drug war na isinusulong ng administrasyon?
I think it is incorrigible on the part of the UN Amnesty International to make that call. It keeps on calling for an investigation ever since. But the fact remains that the basis for their call is factually wrong. They're saying that there have been murders in this country, as if all those who were killed in the police operations have been intentionally slaughtered or killed by the policemen. But as we have repeatedly said, these are the result of legitimate police operations, and those subject of this process have resisted violently, hence confrontation results, and under the law, the police officers are entitled to self-defense.
Ay sir, meron silang sinight na isang kaso na yung suspect bugbog sarado based sa kanilang naging investigation, pero sa report daw po ng PNP ay nanlaban. Ano po yung masasabi niyo sa mga ganong insidente?
The presumption of regularity in the course of public functions is there. That is what the law says. Now, they have investigated differently, then they should have filed a case. Did they file a case? No.
So sir, pwedeng
They should have filed a case against the policeman, and we would have welcomed it. As the president says, we will not tolerate any police abuse,
So,
because
sir,
there will always be hell to pay for them.
So sir, welcome sa inyo sakaling tulungan ng Amnesty International yung ilang pamilya ng biktima ng sinasabi nilang extrajudicial
But they don't have to
execution.
help, because the family, we have our own organizations of human rights here. They can always assist them. We have PAO, government agency, precisely to help poor litigants. We have the IBP, free legal services. They can always go there. The problem is this: Amnesty International is politicizing the so-called extrajudicial killings in this country. So there is bias, there is prejudice. So we'd rather have our own groups here, protective of human rights, to help those who feel that there has been police abuse in the matter of police operation.
Thank you.
Okay, may follow-up? Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, is it the policy of the administration to dismiss criticisms from international groups?
No, we're responding precisely. That is my response. Let our own group assist our own Filipinos. We don't need them. We have a battery of human rights activists in this country. We don't need interference from any other human rights group. They cannot be belittling our own human rights groups here. They've been very busy. They've been very active in helping our countrymen who feel that they've been subject of an abuse coming from whoever.
Sir, when does the palace consider a report like this on the...
What? Consider palace what?
When does the palace consider a report like this from an international group about the administration's human rights record not politicized, not biased?
Obviously, it's biased because they keep on saying that we have 27,000 deaths when that is not true. We've been asking them, show us. You give us the figures, then show us the facts and the circumstances surrounding all these 27,000 deaths. Who are these people? Under what circumstances were they been murdered or killed? But they cannot present simply because they accept false reports and false narratives coming from those who are against this administration.
Sir, you were talking about the presumption of regularity on supposed police killings, but
Yes.
Amnesty International is saying that these killings are not investigated by the police because they rely on the presumption of regularity.
No, for every death occurring in any police operation or arrest, the policemen involved are administratively charged, and that is recorded. Either they're administratively charged or a criminal complaint is filed against them, and it's for them to present their side.
Last na lang, sir. Will the palace look at the cases of killings in Bulacan, which the Amnesty International is now identifying as the new killing field in the Philippines?
Bulacan?
Yes, sir.
This is not the one involved where a 3-year-old was... Iba yan, ah. What is about Bulacan? Parang ngayon ko lang narinig.
They're saying that marami na daw pong mga abusive operations in the past 18 months. There were, the Amnesty International supposedly examined 20 killings in Bulacan from May 2018 to April 2019, which led to 27 deaths.
I think the victims should file appropriate criminal charges. Unless they file it, we will never know the truth behind those reports.
Will the palace look into these cases?
They have to file complaints. Like the subject victim should file the appropriate charges with the police or to us or to the local government officials so that we will know.
Salamat, sir.
Celerina? Microphone. Jinky, pabot ng microphone. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
Sir, since the palace did not want international human rights groups to meddle into the affairs of the state, is it possible to, or will the palace support any move to at least strengthen the capability of our own Commission on Human Rights to go after these people or government agents who allegedly committed human rights violations?
We are precisely supportive of any victim of alleged police abuse to file so that we will know exactly their complaint and so that the legal process will start rolling.
But how about the CHR, our own CHR? Kasi some of, or I think most of the victims go to CHR. However, the CHR lacks budget and
No, I don't think so.
They're not that yung toothless, parang toothless to go after.
I disagree. What is wrong with them is it has been politicizing these killings. Who else? The CHR and its head.
So meaning our CHR is not the right agency wherein these alleged victims of human rights should go to.
That's their job. Then they should do their job.
But
If they want to increase in budget, they can lobby Congress. That's for Congress, not with the executive department.
Do you think there is a need to amend the law regarding the CHR?
I don't know
since
about
they
them.
don't have prosecution.
It's them that should decide whether or not the law gives them strength or makes them weak. They should do their homework. They cannot be relying on the executive. Precisely, the Constitution has given independence to this body. Kaya dapat sila ang... They should do their homework.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, follow up or other issue? Joseph.
Sir, sabi niyo po kanina, clarification lang. Sabi niyo kanina, AI shouldn't intrude in our affairs because we have enough human rights activists who
Yeah.
can investigate. So you're fine with CHR investigating these deaths?
They can always, whatever findings they have, they can always give it to the other human rights group. They could share. And then they file. You know what is important to us? You should file a case. You cannot be politicizing, running to the media and making report without facts, without a formal complaint. Otherwise, those are mere allegations and designed to besmirch the reputation of this administration.
Okay, sir. So okay with investigating and then basta magfa-file na afterwards?
O yung mga victims sa mag-file.
Of course.
Kaya sila ang complainant eh.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, other issue. MPC? Wala na? Okay, Nestor. Microphone, please. Sino ba? Rose or Nestor? Nestor.
Sir, the Philippine Coast Guard and Marina report showed that the June 9 sinking of the Filipino boat at the West Philippine Sea was a serious marine casualty. Why did the President downplay it as just a little maritime accident?
I haven't seen that report, but assuming that to be true. The phrase is what? It's a serious,
Very serious marine casualty.
very serious marine casualty. And as against the President's what?
Little maritime
Little
accident.
maritime accident, there is no contradiction. In so far as the incident is concerned, given the fact that Filipinos were placed in a dangerous situation where they could have been dead, then that's a serious, what did it say? Marine casualty. That's serious enough. But when the President says it's not that serious enough to blow it into international crisis, that is what he meant. So both of them are correct.
So the President believes that the sinking of the boat was a serious very serious marine casualty, sir.
It's a serious in the sense that when you leave our countrymen there after that accident, then that's a serious matter. We will not allow that. You have to be accountable for that.
Will
But you
Malacañang...
cannot blow that and make it into an international crisis.
Secretary, the President received the report June 20.
You know why? Because that was a Chinese vessel. That's not China Republic.
Sir, according to...
You're from the Inquirer?
Yes, sir.
Kaya pala. Oh, bakit? Like for instance, your front page today says, ano sabi doon? Palace is not in a rush to file. Although, the way the article was written, okay. Pero yung headline, parang you make it sound as if hindi kami interesado. Precisely nga, gusto kami mag-file, but kailangan namin yung findings muna ng China, yung findings natin, makita natin kung sino accountable. O hindi ba pwede naman sinabi niyo, Palace will file charges, pero ginawa niyo, file is not in a rush to file. Medyo ano. Anyway, sige, tuloy mo na.
Sir, will Malacañang or the government release the result of the investigation?
I will leave that to the President and the DFA.
Okay.
Thank you, Nestor. Rose Novenario.
Ay, Sir Let. Sir, may posible bang mangyari yung sinabi ni CPP Founding Chairman Jose Maria Sison na mapatalsik si Pangulong Duterte ng isang US-backed kudeta?
That's a wishful thinking coming from a tired, old, failed revolutionary. He has to wake up from a half century of sleep. Because 50 years, 50 years they've been fighting. And it's even, as one of my sub-lawyers says, it's ironic. But to me, not only ironic, it's pitiful that this man has to rely on a foreign country to effect a change of leadership in this country. It is an admission, in fact, that their revolution has failed. It's wishful thinking. Why? Apart from the U.S. will not listen to him, a country which he abhors in the first place. He hates to the bone. Filipinos trust this president. The military and the police love this president.
Thank you.
Okay, MPC, Jinky.
Hi, sir. Sir, follow-up ko lang po yung question ni Ate Rose. Sinabi rin ni Joma Season that the president is heavily bribed by China. Ano yung reaksyon ng palasyo, sir?
Not only misplaced, it's absolutely false. What bribery is he talking about?
Okay. Tina. Microphone.
He must be having nightmares.
Hi, sir. Sir, on another matter, may we know your opinion regarding the inclusion of these provisions sa cost, yung sa immigration form sa airport as posted by activist Carlos Cedran? Are you bringing in any form of the following? Number 7 says, materials advocating or inciting treason, rebellion, insurrection, sedition against the government of the Philippines. And number 8, abortion paraphernalia. Why is there a need to include this? Medyo bago yata itong numbers.
Nakalagay ba yan ngayon?
Yes, sir, based on Mr. Carlos Cedran's.
Based pala sa kanya, I have to see the authentic document.
But as chief legal advisor, do you think it is necessary
Yes,
to
but I
point
need to
out?
see that. I cannot be giving opinion based on an allegation or a statement of another person. I need to see the document.
Sir,
And then I can make my response. First, I will ask, sino bang gumawa niyan?
Immigration, sir.
Oh, okay. Then I will ask the immigration, what's your rationale for this? Di ba?
So, sir, generally, sir, under our laws, is still a violation to care or to have materials in your possession, yung mga would advocate.
Kung you're
inciting
advocating for
the
the downfall of the government, that's illegal.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, questions? MPC, Pia Gutierrez. Rose, paabot ng microphone.
Sir, Foreign Secretary Locsin posted on Twitter that he has accepted China's version of the terms of reference on the joint exploration for oil and gas between the
I read
Philippines
that
and
also.
China. Oh, sir.
I read that
Sir,
too.
do you have details on this? Can you confirm this
No,
first?
I'd leave it to the DFA secretary. He's more knowledgeable on that.
Will the palace get a copy of this terms of reference, sir?
I'll ask for a copy.
Thank you, sir.
Questions, MPC? Okay na, okay. RJ. Yung microphone.
Sir, any update on who's going to replace Secretary Piñol at the DA?
Wala pa eh. Kasi di ba, kulatilya niya, he will have to talk to Mr. Murad. Apparently, hindi niya pa nakakausap. Wala pa siyang sinasabi. But he announced 2 days ago yata, di ba, na he will still place Secretary Piñol to Mindanao Development Authority.
So we expect the President to meet Mr. Murad this month? Or?
Siguro.
Okay.
Yan ang sabi niya.
Okay, no more questions? Pia.
Sir, follow-up lang dun sa joint exploration. What are the Philippines' non-negotiables pagdating sa terms of reference on the joint oil and gas exploration, sir?
Again, I will leave that to the DFA secretary. That's his territory. I would not want to preempt.
Joseph. Last question na tayo kay Joseph.
Sir, di ba nabanggit ni PRD po yung initially, no, okay yung China sa 60-40 and then he said
Parang ayaw.
Yeah, parang
Parang
ngayon
ayaw
ang
na
status
ulit.
is parang medyo matabang na yung China. So where are we at right now in terms of sharing?
Hindi ko alam. Siguro they're still talking, negotiating. Mga nag-uusap pa sila.
But are we fine with a bigger share for China?
What?
Bigger share po for China.
Hindi ko alam eh. Actually, hindi ko dapat si Secretary Locsin dapat sumasagot niya.
So, sir, should the TOR consider yung PCA ruling and then our rights over the EEZ in maybe, siguro hindi na term yung negotiating because may TOR na.
Basta ang posisyon natin, kung ano yung beneficial sa ating bansa, doon tayo. Yan ang absolute na position natin.
Sir, just a little bit on the Coast Guard report, no? What are the next steps for the government? Now, okay, we have at least a report saying that the Chinese vessel left the Filipino fishermen. So, and before you've said that, klaro yung liability, right? What are we going to do again? So, we can file charges in our Philippine courts?
Yeah,
or-
di ba sinabi ko we can do that. But di ba sabi ni Secretary Locsin, they're going to compare our findings against their findings, and then they will issue a joint statement
Sir, what's the...
for the resolution of the three issues that I have mentioned. One, the nature of the accident or the nature of the incident. Number two, the accountability of the Chinese vessel. And the issue on compensation.
Sir, what's the point of having a joint investigation to harmonize ba yung dalawang reports, sir, or paano?
Eh, para malaman nila kung pareho ang kanilang findings.
And if they are different?
Oh, if we are different, pag-usapan natin kung how can we resolve the difference.
But we will insist on their liability.
Oh, definitely. Kung, as I said, there is only one way by which they can justify the abandonment of our fisher folks. And that is if by so doing, their lives would have been endangered. That's the only reason na po pwede silang hindi accountable. Yun ang pinaka-ano doon. Kasi yun ang nakalagay sa UNCLOS eh.
Pero mga wala namang threat ng time na yan, sir, di ba?
Sinasabi nila meron. Eh ako naman, ang sinasabi ko, anong threat? Dahil may maraming bangka ron na nagkalat. Kasi may 19 yata. Ayun kung may nagkalat doon. May nakasakay ba doon? Hindi nga nakasakay yung mga Pilipino doon eh. Nakakapit nga doon sa mother vessel eh. O, ibig sabihin, as far as I can see, kung yan ang nangyari, then there's no threat.
How do you make themselves accountable?
First, sila magdi-decide yan. Kasi nga supposed to be yung Chinese vessel. Under their jurisdiction yun eh. At sinabi na rin nila na they will not allow it. Kung may kasalanan sila, they will impose sanction for their irresponsible behavior. So kung accountable sila at meron namang compensation at pre-prosecute nila or whatever, kung ano sanction nila, di ba justice na rin yun. But if they cannot do that, we will sue them in our jurisdiction.
For what violation, sir?
Di ba, in-endanger nila yung lives, pwedeng reckless imprudence resulting to serious damage to property and endangering the lives of our countrymen.
Pero sir, kung akuin na yung problema, okay na siya?
Sa tingin ko, kung aakuin at merong compensation, palagay ko, sa tingin ko, okay na yun.
Alright, sir, thank you.
Okay. Last question? Henry, ikaw? Hindi. RJ muna. RJ.
Sir, if you can confirm, Chairman Murad has asked for an appointment with the President on July 10 at the Palace.
Hindi ko alam.
You have no
Pero
idea,
consistent yun sa gusto ni Presidente makakausap siya, di ba?
Sir, Mr. Piñol's mission is to oversee BARM. Is it correct, sir?
As chair ng Mindanao Development Authority.
Yes. And of course, to oversee BARM.
Hindi ko alam yung
development.
oversee.
But is
Baka
it...
pag sinabi mong oversee, may magre-react dyan. Because supposed to be, that's
Yeah.
a self-governing body. Paano mo i-oversee yun?
Because that's one of the concerns of the President.
Hindi. Ang sinasabi nila, kumbaga, para makatulong sa BARN. Hindi ma-oversee. Para alam kagad lang ano mong problema nyo.
Okay. The President does not intend to interfere.
he intends to help.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, last question na.
Kala ko sa speaker.
Henry.
Wala. Ganun pa rin, di ba?
Secretary,
Oh,
ang
Henry.
head
Your morning meet.
yung ang headline ng isang pahayagan ngayong umaga.
Is,
Mayroong binabanggit doon na ang Pangulo ay posible pang magbago ang isip at mag-endorso ng pagka-speaker bago mag-SONA.
well, gaya nga ng sinasabi ko palagi, di ba? You make a stand, but when circumstances change, then you alter your stand. Lahat ng posisyon ni Presidente with respect to like this matter is subject to change without prior notice. Eh kung hindi sila nagkakasundo at lumapit sila kay Presidente para pagkasunduin sila, wala rin siguro masama kung tumulong si Presidente sa kanila ma-resolve. Pero that's not interference. Dahil kung sila mismo lumapit at humihingi ng tulong to resolve, how can you call that interference? Kung the President will engage or oblige them. Ay, hindi natin alam.
So kung ang Pangulo po kung ang Pangulo ba ang masusunod, ano ba talaga ang posisyon niya dito sa speakership race na ito?
Kung siya masusunod, gaya ng sinabi niya, magbakbakan na lang kayo. Labo-labo, kayo nang bahala. May the best man win. Yun ang sinabi niya, di ba?
So ano ang magpapabago ng kanyang posisyon?
Siguro kung pumunta yung tatlo sa kanya, o kung ilan man sila, 3, 5, 4, ilan ba naglalaban? Marami na, di ba? Tatlo major ba? 4, meron ng si Congressman Ungab, kasama na. Ay si Congressman Alvarez, hindi umiimik, pero sabi niya, nasa labanan pa siya. O kung lumapit yung 5 o 6 sa kanya, at sabi, Mr. President, tulungan mo naman kami i-resolve. If the President obliges them, wala naman siguro masama doon dahil sila humihingi na ng tulong sa kanila, kundi sila magkasundo-sundo.
Ini-endorso po ni Mayor Sara at saka ni Congressman Paulo Duterte si Congressman Ungab. Ano ang posisyon ng Presidente rito? Suportado rin ba niya ito?
Wala. Si Presidente, di ba, ever since, this family is known for not influencing each other's decision. If you will notice, Mayor Sara makes official stand, personal stand. Si Presidente, hindi umimik. O kung minsan naman umiimik, iba naman ang kanyang posisyon. So, hindi mo makikita mo na hindi sila i-influensya ng kanilang mga stand politically.
So wala ho silang pakialaman sa desisyon ng bawat isa?
Wala. Knowing the President, hayaan niya lang yan.
Thank you, sir.
Sabi style ni Presidente, matira, matibay.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Panelo.
Tapos na, ha?
Thank you, MPC. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and People's Television Network.